Hello and good morning on this Tuesday if you're here live. Otherwise, whichever day you're watching this, we are here on Yoga on Tuesdays. Welcome. I hope my mic is working. If it doesn't, well, we'll find out later. Last time we had this issue, and so I did a voiceover later on. So hello. If you can hear me, send me a thumbs up. And welcome. I do it like 2 times, 3 times. Yay, it's working. I charged it. So one lesson learned, I can't use it multiple times without charging. So charging is important. Talking of which, we need recharging too, right? And I've been talking a lot about burnout the other day. And I'm having a lot of presentations around burnout because I'm presenting in organizations. And so, by the way, for those who don't know, I have office hours on Wednesdays in the afternoons. And I bring up certain topics. So burnout is a topic for tomorrow. Today, I want to integrate some other parts, how we can recharge. So that's why I started talking about it. And what we're doing today was actually coming to me in a dream. Monday morning, I was active in a yoga session in my mind, sleeping. And it was a very fun, energizing, and dancing-infused session. So for those who don't know, I came to the States around 22 years ago. This summer, it's going to be 22 years ago. Actually, the summer is going to be 23 years ago. And I went to dance school. And so dance has always been a part of my life. I wasn't like the professional dancer that was going to different gigs and videos, music videos and performances as such. I just love dancing for myself. So as I had this dream the other day, and us having had a few sessions now together, I think this is the 9th session, if I'm not mistaken, 9 or 10. And so you've seen a variety of things. We've done chair yoga last week. We've done some restorative some other time. We did some regular gentle yoga, slow, and always with some adjustments, right? So today I would love to do a little bit more moving. So it's not so much like I always love to focus on posture, on alignment. That is usually where I go to because I know our bodies they need some of the structural tendencies so that we can stay safe, right? And then there is this other part of life where we gotta let loose a little bit. We were watching, I don't know if you know this show, but the National Geographic has this show called No Taste Like Home. And yesterday they were showing this guy going to Germany where there's like the aristocrats, and then his great-grandfather was somehow interrelated with them because he was a lawyer, right? But for some reason, in the 1800s, he was fighting back against this environment of aristocrats, and he ended up going to jail. And so what was really interesting about this, we were then seeing where he ended up before he came to the States. And that was like more of the freeing kind of experience. So today's session is really about finding this inner freedom within the limitations that we find. And especially in the day, like, I kind of like was watching the show from the 1800s. I mean, they were referring to the 1800s. And I was like, well, it kind of looks like what we are embarking in, right? Like how we're experiencing life today. Obviously, we haven't lived in the 1800s, so we have no idea how close or apart that it is. And yet we're finding ourselves in a time where there's a lot of different perspectives going on at the same time. And there are certain limitations that are either already in place or are being taken apart or putting new into place, right? And so there's always going to be limitations in our lives, no matter what, like it or not, right? Some of us even put limitations in our own lives because that's how we function better. So limitations either be placed by yourself or by society or by political or governmental or natural embarkings, right? So it really doesn't matter. It's not about a particular aspect. It's just demonstrate that there are limitations in our lives. Is that I, as the individual, can choose to be free within myself. And I mean, Nelson Mandela is another example, right? He was in jail and he came out and he then discovered a different way on how to communicate about his experience. He wasn't mad at being in jail. He just used this time away very well to his own freedom internally that he then wanted to share with his country. And so as we're looking at different ways in the past, we have to find that way too. And today's session is actually one way on how to do this, meaning you might find you'll have limitations physically, or this mat is our limitation, right? We're not going out of this mat, but can we find freedom within that square, this rectangle, right? And so if we can, so you can see better that square that I'm on, like, can I feel free within that? This is really small. And I say the same thing about, not that I want anyone to experience going to jail, nor have I myself. And just as an imagination, or even living in a small apartment, can you feel free even in a small space? And so that's really what we're doing today. Anyway, enough talking. You get the idea. I hope you get the idea. And it's just for you to, when you find yourself limited, be it physical or mental or whichever way it is, right? Spatial, to ask yourself, what can I do within that space to feel free? So let's start with a meditation. So sit wherever you are. You can be cross-legged if you like. You can be like I sit, like this. As you can see, I'm using 2 blocks. I don't know. It just felt like it. And just close your eyes and breathe. So even this alone, sitting, breathing, being in your body, not moving, can have its own restrictions. And as you're breathing in and breathing out, can you feel the expansion inside of your body as you're breathing in and breathing out? You might notice a physical expansion of your chest and belly rising, creating space. And as you're exhaling, contracting, it's decreasing. Maybe you don't notice the rising and falling of your chest and belly as you breathe in and breathe out. So you can also imagine just your breath, how it's expanding all the way through your body, into your toes, all the way, as that's where our oxygen helps us move the blood in through our bodies. That's why fresh air is always great, because every time we breathe in fresh air, the oxygen we take in, depending on where you are, can already feel rejuvenated, recharge us. There's different ways we can recharge. It could be through movements. So that's kind of like the more active role of recharging. And then sleeping as well as meditation is more the quiet version of recharging. Neither is wrong. They're just depending on what you need, when you need it. Sometimes both, sometimes one. Just continue to breathe in and out and experience the expansion, freedom, space within yourself, within your body. And as you're checking in with your body, what do you notice? Your hips, shoulders. Maybe there's some places in your body you want to pay attention to as we're moving a little faster today. So now that we're in stillness, we can take in and just be more aware and present when things go faster. So obviously this is related to the yoga practice, and at the same time in life, whenever we're rushing and needing to go faster, to also pay attention to those parts of our body and mind, as well as environment, that might need a little bit more attention even when it goes faster. And then take a deep breath in, slowly exhale out. You can remove the blocks if you're sitting on any blocks. And just come into child's pose. You can widen your legs open so you have more space. And really feel the elongating of your spine. So you're reaching your tailbone towards your heels and reaching your head forward towards your arms. For me, the lower back just cracked. Maybe for you, same thing, or maybe in the upper body or in your hips. And then slowly roll back, come back to onto your legs. Tuck your toes under, stretching those toes. Maybe it's a little uncomfortable. As long as it's not painful, see what you can do. It just stretches your toes and also a little bit on your heels. So it's a nice stretch. Usually we don't really get there as much. And then push yourself onto your heels. You might not get all the way down. You can also widen your step a little bit so you can sit down. For women, this is a little easier than for men, depending. Usually it's the limitations of the hips. So I don't know where you are. Maybe you're just further up. You can't go as deep. You might not reach the heels down, and that's okay. You could have a blanket supporting your heels if you want to get more in. Then lift your hips up and just feel a nice stretching and lengthening in the back of your legs. So you can use a block if you want to, like, go forward a little bit so you can really feel it in the right places in the back of your legs. So it's like a standing downward dog. So the block can then determine. The only difference is that you're not stretching it too much with your upper body. So if you have any ailments in your wrist or something, that could obviously always be another option. We don't have to go so deep. And walk back, bend your knees slightly, slowly roll up, one vertebrae after the other. Oh, it's not over here. There you go. I'm gonna take off my sweater because I'm gonna get warm. I practiced this briefly yesterday and I got quite warm, even though I just did it for like a minute or two. So get ready to be warmed up. And if you don't know, this is the name of my book, Be Human, Be Happy, Be You. Gotta make some ads here, right? While I'm at it. And so we're gonna Just roll your arms, kind of like warming up your shoulders and shoulder blades. The other way around. This is something I recommend doing multiple times a day, because we don't move these shoulders enough. We are a lot of like strict and limited, right? So this is the freeing part. Maybe you need to like move left and right, stretch to the side as well. So you're already seeing we're doing some fluid movements here. So there is like, you can follow what I'm doing, but you can also just follow your own way, you know. Whatever your heart is calling you to do, swing it. The most important part is to swing, to be a movement. It's loosening up. This is how we can find freedom within our bodies. That's how we can loosen up. Another one that's great when you can just raise your legs up and down, and then bring the opposite arm up, and then you can even hop if you want. That can bring your heart rate up a little bit, energizes you, recharging. And this is all within that rectangle that I'm standing on, and you. Take a moment, close your eyes, breathe. I feel like a tingling in my feet. My heart is warm and moving. My breath is short as I'm breathing, which you might notice through this whole entire practice that I'm going to be out of breath. So that's why we need to take some deep breaths in between so we can bring more oxygen into our body. So if the least thing you can do to bring freedom into your inner freedom is by breathing in deeply, that alone could already be freedom. All right, so now we're gonna go into our flow. Are you warm? Thumbs up if you're warm. So what we're going to do is we're going to be in downward dog, plank. We'll bring up the legs and back. So I'm going to do this. Let me put myself a little sideways so you can see better. I'm going to try to talk you through. And at the end of the day, it's up to you what you can and can't do, right? How fast, how slow you're going to do something. So today is kind of like a free for all, right? It's not like you're not doing anything wrong to do your own thing. If you decided to pause, like, I'm just going to be in child's pose for the next 5 minutes, you can do that, right? So the whole thing about this is finding different ways where we can feel a little bit more openness. Like there's going to be, all right, so here you can just watch for a moment just to get an idea. So here's like an example. I'm like in downward dog, lifting one leg up, bring it forward, moving back and forth, bring it back up, bring it into the pigeon pose, come to plank, come back. So it's like a continuous movement, right? So it's not necessarily that we are going to stand still. So that's the point. And then obviously, if you're going on your own, you're going to make sure that you're doing the same thing on both sides. Right? So that's just like to give you an idea what it's going to look like and feel like. So I'm going to go into lunges, low lunges, high lunges, some warriors. So I think the challenge is going to be me telling you quick enough on what I'm doing. So That'll be a challenge for me. Finding freedom within the limitations is just the theme, which is going to make it easy. So if you feel like you're like, I just lost track of what we're doing, listen to your heart. Listen. Because at the end of the day, this is what's life going to be. You're not going to catch all the news. You're not going to catch everything you need to know. And at some point, we have to just trust that we will do the right thing, that we'll pick the right decision. And so that's my invitation for today. Fun and flow and what else was it? Fun, flow, freeing. There you go. The 3 F's. not the negative F's or the cursing kind of F's. We're just going to do the fun, free flow. That's what we're going to do. That's what I'm going to call this session today. All right. So make yourself physically ready and know, as I said, if at any given moment you need to stop, you need to slow down, you want to do something else, you do that. I can't see you, so I can't say anything anyways. And second of all, today is not about alignment. And so therefore, we have to be slow and quick, right? Meaning, if I feel something while I'm doing something fast and something happens, then obviously, alert, slow down, right? That maybe was too fast. So because we're not focusing on alignment so much, we have to pay more attention on where I can go and what I can't do. And so that's just inviting you to be more alert as we're going in speed. Anyway, enough talking. Come into child pose just to arrive and relax. Breathe in, breathe out. So all I'm gonna say from here forward, have fun. So we're gonna start in downward dog. Breathe in and breathe out. Feel those heels down. Warm them up a little bit, because obviously if you have just listened or watched before, you haven't been in this position. So just really make sure you're warm. Just roll forward and backward. So that's the beginning of our forward and backward. Just slow for now. Then lift that right leg up, open your hips, reach and bring that right foot forward and feel a stretch. Lengthen that front leg, bend it again. Straighten that front knee, bend it again. Bring that right leg up, open those hips again, and then bring that right knee right on top of your elbow and back so you don't put it down. Again, bring it to your elbow and back up. Bring it forward, place it down on the ground, straighten that front knee, bend that front knee. Bring that leg back up and come into pigeon pose. Here, you can stay for a moment. Breathe in. Exhale out. Feel those hips. Tuck that back toe under. Bring that right leg up. Open those hips and stay there for a moment. Really reach, but bring it back. Place it down and then stay in downward dog for a bit. If you need a moment to go into child's pose, feel free to do that. Before we go into the next side, all right, lift that left leg up. Open the hips to the side. Bring it back to center, place it in the front. Bring it back. Bring it back to the front, straighten that front knee. Bend it again. Straighten that front knee. Bend it again and bring it back again. Open that hip. Place it. And then straighten it. Bend. Bring it back up. And then bring it into pigeon pose. Keep breathing in. Reach your chest up. And then rest here for a moment. Feel that hip. Bring those hands back. Reach back a little bit. Just you have a little back bend and a deeper stretch in your hips. Tuck that right toe under. Bring that left leg up. Open. Let heaven reach, reach, reach. Come back. Place it back on the ground. Breathe. If you want to come into child's pose, you can. So just check in with your body. Check in with your heart. How do you feel? Is your heart racing, but in a good way? Or do you need to slow down? Whatever the answer, that's okay. If you need to slow down, slow down. If you need to remain the speed, remain it. Come back onto downward dog. Inhale that right leg up. Place it forward. Let it knee. Oh, I know what we forgot. Come back. Inhale left leg and bring that left knee to the right elbow. Bring it back up. And bring it back to your left knee. And up. We forgot that one. Alright, now, new side. Right leg up to the sky. Place it in front. And come up to high lunge. Push. Bring your hands down. Reach that right leg up. And bring that right knee to your right elbow. Reach it up. Place it back down by your right hand. Straighten your leg. Come to center. Breathe. And stretch. Bring your hands between. Come back forward. Reach that back left leg, right leg up. Place it back on down. Inhale up and open into warrior two. Adjust the back leg. Keep breathing. Inhale into peaceful warrior. Inhale, bring your arms on rest. Keep breathing. Bring your hands down. Reach that right leg up. Place it down. Take a breather here. Or go into child's pose if you like. Then inhale your left leg up. Bring it forward. Bring it back. Bring left knee to left elbow. Bring up. Lift it up again. Bring it forward. Reach up to high lunge. Come back down. And then turn towards the right. Pause. Bring your hands between. Look back. Come forward. Come up to high lunge. Adjust the back leg into warrior two. Two. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Come back. Move all the way down. Bring your left leg back into downward facing dog. Pause. If you want to go into child's pose, you can. How's everyone doing? Everybody okay? All right. I'm gonna do one more round on each side. Come on to all fours, or rather into downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up. Bring it forward to the right hand. Bring it back. Bring right knee to right elbow. Bring it up. Bring right foot to right hand. Come up, high lunge. Straighten your front knee. Face forward. Keep breathing. And then bring your weight onto your right leg. into warrior three. Oopsies. Either hands side by side you or forward. Keep breathing, place it back. Bring that right leg up. Open your hips. And come into downward dog. Or child's pose if you like. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, left leg up. Bring it forward to your left foot. Bring it back up. Bring left knee, left elbow. Bring it up. Left foot, left hand. Come up, high lunge. Oopsies. Turn. Breathe. Turn forward and come into warrior three. Either arms to the front, to the back. Bring your back leg down. Reach your left leg back. Come into downward dog. And down into child's pose. And rest here. From here, you can just get yourself lying down on the ground. Your hands side by side your body if you want. Feel those hips become heavy. And then turn over onto your back. If you have a block nearby, take that block, place it right underneath your hip. And then you can bring your knees into your chest if you like. And also lift them up to the sky so the block comes the other direction. And rest. Place those feet on the ground with that block still underneath you. Feel your heart rate slowing down. Take that block out. Rest on the ground. Bring both knees into your chest. Move side by side. Bring your right ankle over your left knee. Bring it all the way over to the left side. Open your arms and look to the right. Come back to center. Switch the legs. Ooh, nice. Bring it over to the other side. Open your arms. Come back to center. Place your feet on the ground. You can open your legs, your knees to the side if you like. Just to give body rest. You can then place your feet back on the ground. Bring both knees towards each other so you do the opposite. Inward, rotating inwardly. Then place both feet parallel again and then just fall onto each side. Fall to the right. Feel the lengthening of that upper body over the hips. Bring it back to center, switch sides. We sometimes call it the windshield wipers. So for me, German being my mother tongue makes it really difficult to say W's and V's. So windshield wipers are like the perfect word to missay. Come back to center. Straighten your legs in front of you. Bring your hands side by side your body. If you want to use a blanket over you, you can do that. And just come to rest. Take a deep breath in. Exhale out. Let go of all the tension in your body. With each breath, you slow down. This is the perfect time to check in with your body. And in case your lower back is hurting and pulling, lying straight down, feel free to bend your knees to flatten your lower back. So this is the perfect place to check in, as there is no muscle engagement. This is the reset before the recharge. Slowly move your fingers and toes. Bring your hands over your head. Give yourself a nice stretch. Bend your knees and turn to any side that is comfortable for you. And with your eyes closed, you slowly push yourself up to a seated position. Again, take a few deep breaths in at your own pace. And see how your body feels now. What are you experiencing? What are you noticing? Anything change? Remain the same without judgment. Bring your hands in front of your heart. Thank yourself for today's practice. Did you find some freedom within limitations? Did you experience fun, freeing, and flow in today's practice? No matter your answer, you take it and adjust it as needed. So thank you for coming today. About to you. Namaste. Thanks again, and I hope to see you next week. Take care. Bye.